haven't wanted to do a live video this much in a long time. I hope y'all put your children to bed. I put 2 to bed, though only 1 is actually in bed, because he's in a crib. And if nobody watches this live video, I don't care. I'll talk to myself. I will. I've already been deleted today off the Teachers United page. Never been deleted off that page. Sort of offensive. Anyway, not that I'm a teacher, but I love teachers. Hello, Kit Duncan. Whenever I get on these videos, I start itching. I have a sore throat, so I'm not drinking wine. I'm drinking Sunkist. Hi, Susan. There's a lot to talk about today. Today has been exhausting. I took Russell to get braces, which was fun, at Lewis and Steele on Little Washington. Ooh, they're so good. The woman, she was good to help with Russell. If we got braces on him, there might be hope for Amos. There's my friend Aaron Brabble watching. Aaron, I hope Hayden did okay today. Thomas said he did, but he wasn't going back to school. Why were you booted from the Teachers United page? Well, I'll tell you. I'm not a teacher, so now they'll probably never let me post again. But I shared the post I wrote earlier today about the man who had thrown down the man who was mean to my principal. My principal, real nice. And I shared that post on their page, and this person posted this long thing about, basically, maybe it was because of me being white and not understanding what this man was going through. You know what? Sorry, but no. I agree race has a lot to do with a lot of problems we have. But sometimes people are just assholes. And this guy is an asshole. Anyway, sorry. Last year, I was at school several times, and this person made a scene, used bad language, talked loudly, didn't want to follow the rules. And the rules are for everybody. I was PTA president. Was I allowed to walk down the hall without signing in? No. Did I try? Maybe once or twice. And every time the person would say, Miss Wood, you need to come in and sign in. Everybody follows the rules. Some people choose to not like the rules or think the rules don't apply to them. That doesn't have anything to do with race. Doesn't matter when your race is when you make bad decisions. So anyway, I shared that. Now, this person, you can go on my Facebook page. I'm not going to really get into it because I don't want to give them a bunch of credit. Hi, Maggie. But anyway, the best part is, though, so this guy, he posts this tonight on his Facebook page. Ooh, thank you. I like my hat, too. You know what this is? Chaza. It's very good hot sauce. I had it tonight on tenderloin, which I realize is an unusual combination. But Chaza sent it to me. Some T-shirts. And so if you order their stuff, then they'll think, ooh, we should send her more. I might not ever take the shirt off. Now, the shirt is from North Carolina Heritage Farms General Store, which is owned by 2 of my old high school friends from Goldsboro. It's a pig with a flag. Oh, God, now my mother's texting me. Lord help us all. You got me distracted. Oh. So, shit, what was I saying? Anyway, this fella, the best part about last year when I saw him, he really scared me. I called the sheriff. I called the superintendent at least 3 times about this scenario. Because I thought, eventually somebody shows up with a gun and it wasn't going to be my fault, right? But this person posted on his Facebook page tonight, I feel like Colin Kaepernick of the school system. And I'm going to speak my mind and or opinion. And those that know me know damn well I speak my opinion at all times. Well, so do I. Met his match. He also said this. This is just funny. I got school employees hot because I spoke my feelings. Hey, stalk my page all you want with your degree in psychology. I'm just very opinionated, hate it or not, so keep stalking and keep talking. It only affects you, not me. Shit, send friend request. I'll let you in. I got nothing to hide. This was a wonderful post. One, I'm not a school employee, but he thinks I am. Isn't that fun? Hi, Kathy. Oh, God. What if I was a school employee? You have a piece of green in your teeth. No, I don't. Where? Are you kidding? I don't see it. I might get it braces, though. I did talk to the orthodontist, Dr. Lewis, about that today, or Dr. Steele. And I don't have a degree in psychology. Anyway, wish I did have one. If I did, I tell you what I would look at. I would look at this lemon. You see this lemon? We got this lemon as a wedding present, and I just found it when I was looking for a light bulb in the drawer. It was real expensive, I remember at the time. I've been married like 15 years. I'd like to say I think it was like $500. If anyone can explain to me that the General Assembly is not responsible for the lowering of test scores in North Carolina, I shall send you this lemon. It has to be really good, though, like a thesis. Catherine Houston, Jennifer Jolly says. Yep, that's right. KHO01 USA. Jennifer, I'll sell it to you. Mike could go on a Disney cruise for this sucker. You find all sorts of things in a drawer. Look what else I found. Christmas tree spray. It does smell. Oh, and look. Amos's tiny hand. 1 year old. Hi, Lisa. And then this is the best thing. Don't ever give, you hear my children? Don't ever give me anything that you want me to give to somebody else, because I won't. Like right here, I have this notebook here, and it says, God, now I just smell Christmas tree. The Garden of Eden Club, Edenton. I'm not in the Garden of Eden Club, but I think my mother-in-law is, and this must be her book. Has a list of all the presidents. How long have I had this book? Let's see here. Oh, this is from 2014. 4 years. Sorry, whoever gave this to me to give to my mother-in-law. It's still, yeah, that Christmas tree crap is awful. Now, let's get to breaking news. You've all been waiting. Maybe this is giving people long enough to shove people in the bed. So today, Blair brought home this letter, which is really great that I got this letter on the same day that the school grades came out for North Carolina. Very exciting. Now, the letter says, it's from my school, but clearly it was everybody got in the state, so it's not my school's fault. As your child begins third grade, blah, 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 we want to make sure that he or she can read, comprehend, integrate, and apply complex text needed for secondary education and career success. One thing I've noticed on my blog is that people have trouble spelling words like lose, loose, or lose. Yet, in third grade, we're working on applying complex text? Sorry, I don't think that is. Now, here's the best part of the letter, especially with the school grades. As part of the Read to Achieve law passed by the General Assembly in 2012. Oh, no, this is really good. Do you know who passed the Read to Achieve law? Burger. Pro Tem of the Senate. This is why I can't run for, what was I going to run for? Oh, look, now I can see me better. I can't run because I can't keep my mouth shut. I mean, I just can't. Berger was responsible for the Read to Achieve law. Now, Berger is running again in November against Jen Mangrum. Now, Jen is a Democrat, and I am a Republican. I love Jen. Call me John McCain. No, except I've never been a prisoner unless you count living with these people in Chowan County. Mm-hmm. No, so Jen is running against Berger. And I tell you what, if you want to see something happen in education, then get your ass out there and vote. I mean, did you know that over 100 million people didn't vote in the last presidential election? Sorry, that Christmas tree spray is killing me. Anyway, I find that so annoying. And even though Kaepernick didn't vote, he has done some other things. But I tell you, when you don't vote, it is a notch against you. And we're not going to talk about him because I wrote about him today. So you could get your literacy skills on. Now, let's see what this says. This tells us that Blair is going to take a BOG on September 12th. And that's the beginning of grade tests. Now, what that's going to do is that's going to tell us that Blair has mastered the material for the year. And then, what happens? Nothing. No sirree, Bobby. Blair has to take it again at the end of the year. And if she doesn't pass it, she gets to go to camp. This ain't any Camp Seafair. This is reading camp. Reading camp in Wilson, interestingly enough, was 72 hours. And then they take a test again. Now, Mark Johnson has come up with this new strategy where if you don't pass, they've made it a lot easier for schools to hold people back. This might be why my son is convinced that a fifth grader is 14. I mean, he really is. I'm not sure if it's true, but he is convinced. Elections have consequences. It's a civic duty. It is a right that a lot of people came before you and worked awfully hard to make sure it happened. Whether you're a woman, a person of color, a variety of things, or people. So, yes, I would really think heartily. And if you're a Republican and you've always voted for Republicans, why don't you stop and think for a minute? And if you're a Democrat and you always vote for Democrats, stop and think. Just think about who you're voting for and what they do. And I want you to really think critically. And if you have any questions about candidates, I'm glad to share them. Yes, I am. Jen Mangrum has asked me to support her, and so has Erica Smith, who is running, she's the incumbent in North Carolina Senate and represents our district. And I was supposed to have a conference call yesterday, and I took a nap. Sorry. But I'm not perfect. Anyway, so I'm just telling you all. So it's really interesting that Berger is the one that sponsored this Read to Achieve bill. Now, let's just go for a minute that, that's sort of ballsy. I'm going to sponsor a Read to Achieve bill, and I'm going to really do great. Well, today, the scores come out. One of the very best things I read today, I'm being dramatic, is that the passing rate on the reading exam in third grade is now, for the state of North Carolina, 55.9%. It has gone down every year since Berger passed Read to Achieve. Did you hear that? It was at 60.2% in 2013, then 57.8%, and now it's at 55.9%. So the General Assembly, your friends, have passed a bill, and now children are reading worse. Very curious, isn't it? Anyway, let's just read a few more details, shall we? New state results were released this afternoon. The state's 12-year streak of rising high school graduation rates has ended. State leaders say they can't be compared because of the rates are being calculated differently. No. Yes, thank you, Elizabeth Davis. 55% passing. 55% passing. This is really good. State education leaders are pointing to positives Wednesday about the majority of schools and how they're meeting growth, and the number of low-performing schools has dropped. If I was a state education leader like Mark Johnson, I would be drunk as a coot right now. Holy cow. Here's what Mark Johnson said. We have some things to celebrate, he said in a news conference today. We also have things that will make us pause and have concerns. Call me the grammar police. But shouldn't it say we also have things that will make us take pause and have concern? Should concerns have an S on it? I don't think so. It shouldn't. Concern. Now, even when the drop is small, it still reflects that a lot of student declined. When we dig into the data, we see that some results go up. Some results go down, Johnson said. But consistently, the trend is that we are not where we want to be for our students. Please tell me someone didn't just say that. Can I run for state superintendent? Will y'all let me live in Edenton? I can't live in Raleigh. I mean, all it does is make people closer so they can go visit the Apple headquarters and buy a bunch of iPads. Holy shit. I mean, a press conference. Golly. Anyway. And again, now even the News and Observer said this. An area where the scores seem to be going in reverse is performance of third grade students on the state's end of grade reading exam. State legislatures, Berger, created the Read to Achieve program in 2012 with the goal of trying to get students proficient in reading by the end of third grade. It no work. No, bad. So if you voted for Berger because you really wanted education to get better, he has now failed for 3 years in a row. I think I would go ahead and let that ship keep sailing. It's kind of like going to a doctor you don't like. I mean, you don't have to keep trying. Eventually you can say, you know what, I'm going to save myself. I'm not going to worry about hurting somebody's feelings. Now, let's see. Johnson said he hopes that efforts he's pushed for such as reallocating state Read to Achieve funding to buy supplies and iPads for K-3 literacy teachers and reducing the amount of required assessments will improve performance. Okay. Go with me here. He spent $6 million on iPads that nobody said they needed, never went through the Department of Technology, went with a couple of the General Assembly folks to visit Apple. Apple spent, I think $5,800 on the 3 or 4 of them for 2 days, and came back with a bunch of iPads to help teachers do more assessments. That, in addition to reducing assessments, even though he's bought iPads for assessments, are going to help improve performance? Does that make sense to anybody? Another chance to win your fancy lemon. If anybody can make sense of this, I'm going to give them a prize. I'm going to give them this fancy lemon that nobody wants. No, only one superintendent went on the trip. Mark Johnson flew out to the headquarters to look at the $6 million iPads. And then he went with Jason Sane, who I sort of like. 2 or 3 other people went with him. So, Mark Johnson says that by buying iPads for assessment and reducing the amount of assessment, we're going to have better performance. If you believe that, raise your hand. Not me. And if you want to justify that, I mean, you're dumber than dirt. So, now this, he did say this. This is interesting. Teachers and principals are working harder than ever and aren't the problem. Now, I would agree with that. But he said what's needed, now this is really another thing, is a change in how students are taught. When you use status quo strategies, you get status quo results. We have been trying the same thing in our public education system for a number of years. Our system was designed 100 years ago to fit a society in the industrial age. I think he's smoking crack. You have to smoke crack. Is he familiar with Common Core? We have not been teaching with the same strategies for 100 years. Hello, I read all the Laura Ingalls Wilder books. You sat in the schoolroom with everybody 100 years ago, and when you act bad, you went and got a switch and got the tar beat out of you. And I guarantee you those people were better readers. They do those Friday night spelling bees. Shit. People can't even spell loose or lose here. You know, I used to think politicians were like kind of smart and impressive. I don't anymore. I just think they're desperate for attention and can't think of anything else to do or another way to make money. The fact that our state superintendent said that our education methods are from the industrial age makes me want to tar and feather him. I mean, we got iPads coming out our earballs. Children don't get to go outside at recess. We have a lot of poverty. And we think it's because of the methods teachers are using? My God. I mean, I feel like I'm on, is it the Twilight Zone where that child eats peanut butter and jelly dip sandwiches all day? God. Johnson also pointed on Wednesday to examples of innovative practices such as greater use of personalized learning. That's just, don't say things like that. I mean, that is like the biggest catchphrase. That's like saying, let's all love one another. And give low-performing schools more flexibility like charter schools. Now, he loves a charter school because charter school paved his way into office. Now, I'm not against charter schools, but I don't trust him talking about charter schools. Now, 2 to 4 low-performing schools will be recommended for takeover by the state's innovative school district. Remember that? I wrote about that. One of the schools is Williford Elementary in Nash, Rocky Mount. Because now the state is really, they know so much better than the counties how to take care of their schools, don't they? No. For more than a decade, state leaders, including Johnson's predecessor, June Atkinson, promoted how the graduation rate has gone up each year. The new results set the graduation rate lower, 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 lower. Now, Wake County says that their graduation rate went up, but it went down at a bunch of schools. And I mean, Wake County, that's like saying people at Harvard. I mean, of course they did well. Wake County. Wake County Superintendent Kathy Moore said in a statement, "This doesn't happen by accident, and I'm grateful for the continued commitment of our teachers, administrators, parents, and students." Yes. I mean, Wake County, God, of course they're doing well. They're Wake County. Now, Durham district leaders were celebrating that they had 48.3% passing this year. That's not very good either. I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but that's pretty bad. Is anybody maybe thinking like, maybe this doesn't have to do anything to do with iPads or testing or teaching? You know what I think it has to do with? Money. And when you look at other states, they spread the money evenly throughout the state, they have better results. So what we have in North Carolina is, if you're in a impoverished county, so if you're in a county and you have 80% or more low-income students, you know how many of that crowd passed the, you know how many of that crowd got a D or an F on their school grade? 69%. You know how many schools got a D or F that had less than 20% poverty? 1.6. So think about that. No poverty, 1.7 had a D or an F. 80% poverty, 70% D or F. I hope that statistic sits with you for a little while. And when you hear all this shit about iPads and assessments and what was that thing he said? The industrial age. I mean, I hope you say, you know what? No, I'm not going to believe that dribble, because I'm not supporting politicians to just get further in life based on nothing. And I'm not going to let them make these decisions. I'm going to vote for people that are helpful and useful and know what they're talking about. I'm really encouraging you to do that. I mean, I just can't say enough how I'm encouraging you to do that. Please pay attention. Take 10 minutes. I'll go over the candidates with you. You have got to make good decisions. What's going to happen in North Carolina if you don't is that politicians will continue to be politicians. People that own charter schools will continue to make money off charter schools. And even if they're helping your child, they're not doing it to help them. They're doing it to make money. My school moved from an F to a D without being desegregated. Kudos to the staff. Yes, Lori, our school was like one of the only schools in the state, or was the only one that went from a D to a B. Do we have great teachers? Absolutely. Do we have poverty? Yes. Did we have to test the hell out of them? Absolutely. Testing. The more you test, the better you do on a test. So we see more testing in lower income counties. If we followed the research, call me crazy, and we gave children access to high quality early child care experiences, pre-K, developmentally appropriate pre-K, like Amos is in at White Oak. There are some charters that are not in it for the money. No, I don't think the charters are in it for the money, and I don't think the parents are. But the companies that are running, like the Innovative School District in North Carolina, it's not that North Carolina comes and takes over these 10 schools. It's a charter school company that comes and takes them over and charges $250,000 a year per school. So that's the real deal. You got to do your homework on this stuff. You really do. I like homework. I never did before. Ask my friend Karin Kleiss, who's watching. I was never a great student. I didn't make 1,000 on the SAT. I never took an AP class. I mean, I worked my butt off to get a B. I failed Latin 1. I applied to Chapel Hill undergrad. They never even responded. My dad said he thought it was because they thought it was a joke. But you know what? I worked hard. I came into my own a little bit later on. I was never a great test taker. But I got a master's. And I got a 97 on my comps. I got a full scholarship to NC State. Worked for the Howard Hughes Foundation, taught students, had the highest scores of anybody in the department for student evaluations. Granted, I was like 20 and cute and flip-flops. And why can't we just teach people to think? Anyway, think. If we took all this crap and we went back to the way kindergarten or third grade was taught 20 years ago, I guarantee you our scores would be better. Because when we let children play and think and hear music and be creative, what we see is by third grade, they're actually doing better than their peers that were force-fed this academic baloney. Frank Porter Graham Child Development Institute tells you about that all day long. There's nobody really at Frank Porter Graham that I see that's out in the media saying, why is no one in North Carolina following the research? And I think that's crappy and unfortunate. But anyway, if we did that, that's what I would do if I were North Carolina superintendent. I would say, you know what, I'm going to take a gamble. I mean, we can't do any worse than Berger's done. I mean, he's gone on with all this mess, and they're just doing worse. at least I would be like, well, the research said it. I'm just trying to do what the research says. And I think if somebody actually tried and we failed, wouldn't we all be like, well, shit, we're trying. Instead, we're following the Hamburglar. I mean, I just don't get it. God, now I'm going to be all keyed up. I'm not going to be able to go to sleep. I have to take my mother to Duke tomorrow. Though now she says she doesn't know if we should go. Already planned to leave these children here. I got to go now. Anyway. That's my breaking news. Breaking news. Anybody got anything else to say? Give your teachers a break. Vote for your teachers. If you love your teacher, you'll vote. Okay? You'll vote. If Chowan County doesn't have a charter school, I don't want a charter school. I want our public schools to be supported to do well. I believe that poverty has a lot more to do with how places are performing than teachers. It's not that I believe it. That's just what literature says, research says. So anyway, I got nothing. I got people in there playing Fortnite that don't listen to me. And I have somebody from the Teacher United post that just said they hoped I had peace. Peace. I passed the peace on Sunday. Clearly my heart is in the wrong place. Wendy Schultz told me the confirmation hearing is still ongoing. History in the making. Wendy, you and I don't usually agree on whatever's going on. It'll probably just make me mad. You have people playing Fortnite too. Where does the lottery money go? I have no idea. I haven't looked into that. It just makes me mad. It's just one more thing they're screwing up. But golly, and I don't know when Mark Johnson gets to run again. I don't think it's for another little while. But please, Lord, don't vote for him again. Golly. I mean, if you do, you have yourself to answer for. So if you're not allowed to complain if you vote for Berger or Mark Johnson. In fact, if you vote for those two people, I'm going to ban you. And you know why? Because I can. It's my blog, and I'll ban you. I will. I'm Kim Jong-un, North Korean of Edenton. I mean, I'm just not going to take it. Because at the end of the day, you know who worries me the most? Amos. What about Amos? What about all our kids with special needs and IEPs who aren't going to be able to pass these damn tests? The federal government says you all need to be inclusive, have inclusion, include. But then Mark Johnson and the North Carolina General Assembly say, no, we're not going to include. You're going to pass this test or you're going to sit in this grade forever. Well, you can't go to school past 21. So will Amos just stay in the third grade? I mean, won't that get awkward? It'll be like that movie Elf. Anyway, that's who I worry about. And what about the kids that have IEPs, but they do pretty well, but maybe they're not going to pass that test? Let's torture them? I mean, that's basically what this says. Anyway, I'd love to see a special needs parent as a politician. I need to learn about who to vote for. Yes, you do, Kristen. I think that's the first thing to do is to acknowledge that you don't know who to vote for. And when you drive around and see campaign signs, which I see them, they're all over my town, take 2 minutes, take a couple pictures, go home that night, fix yourself up sun-kissed or a wine, and look up the people online. Look up some stuff about them. All those expensive mailers you get, throw those away. Because that's how we encourage people to not spend money on crap like that. But no, ask questions. Post a thing on your Facebook page and say, hey, tell me about so-and-so Jenkins or Twitty or whoever. Anyway, ask questions. That's all you have to do. Ask me. If I don't know, I'm willing to take 10 minutes to find out. Really. I think we can all do that. And I don't have a great record for always doing that. I've looked at that damn ballot and not known who some of the people were. But I don't do that anymore. Oh, Sarah, thank you. I do love my hat. So anyway, I love North Carolina, and I want it to be really great. And at this rate, we're going to not be great. But the people that are in charge really don't care, do they? Why do they care? They're doing fine. Anyway, I care. They always say what you want to hear. Nicole, I don't think they do. I think they have a little bit lately, but I don't think they always do say what you want to hear. A lot of these people are very, like people that believed in that HB2, not being able to use the bathroom. I would pretty much say if that's a concern of theirs, that they don't have anything in your best interest. We have way more problems than that. Don't we? I think we do. Most of their kids are in private school. I don't know if they are or not. They live in Wake County, though, which is pretty good. Hell, I always went to private school. But it doesn't mean I don't care about public school. As a retired educator, it kills me that teachers and state employees don't turn out and vote. Maybe instead of running, I'll just be voting commander. Do you think I could do that? I wonder how you do that. I wish I had a helicopter and I could fly around places. I hate driving. Just like to point that out. I really do. Okay, carry on. Go to bed. It's very late. Y'all need to go to bed. Turn off that stuff. No one listens to me. Goodbye.